I bet you thought that I was going to stop. There's no stopping this train. I'm devoted. It's happening. Kate Bishop DLC. Let's get into it. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the channel. I am Gabriel Fast. I do claim to be the Wannabe Critic. So whether you found this video for the first time just by looking for, thoughts on the Kate Bishop DLC, or if you're here from the last series that I did on the Reassemble campaign, either way, welcome to the channel. Welcome to this thing that I do. I spent a lot of time with Marvel's Avengers, through the campaign, and I spent a lot of time compiling footage and, ruminating on my thoughts about this game and trying to piece together a decent review, in which I ended up giving the main campaign Reassemble a 6 out of 10. Now, I have to say, I understand this is kind of an ongoing story. This is kind of an ongoing thing. Basically, chalk up the Reassemble mission to basically being a glorified first impression. And while there were things I really enjoyed about the campaign, there was a lot I didn't like. So how does Kate Bishop's DLC hold up? What happened? Or what's happened so far? Since this is a Dear Diary entry, I only played for about an hour this time, and I, kept a log in my handy-dandy notebook to recount the events of what had happened, as well as my thoughts on this DLC, or what I've played this DLC so far. I'm sure there'll be more. There'll definitely be more, of course. And keep in mind that after about an hour of gameplay, I was 47% through this first DLC for Marvel's Avengers. So, a couple of hours of gameplay tops. I did notice there was a few missions for me to wrap up on the Reassemble campaign, the side missions for each character. So I'm assuming it'll be that type of situation as well for Kate Bishop's DLC. Without further ado, let's get into it. Basically, this DLC picks up right where we left off. The Avengers are sent to invest a tachyon disruption, and they are, considering that, AIM has to be a part of it, right? AIM's been the big bad guy from the beginning, so it has to be them. To which we are surprised to find that it's actually Kate Bishop. And Kate's kind of cool. She has a sword, she has teleportation powers, and we don't learn a lot about her at first until we play as her and we get a little bit more information. There are these tachyon disruptions have been popping up all over the place. Clint, aka Hawkeye, was close to one of those, and then he disappeared, and the rest is history. We learned that Kate essentially was kind of out of contact with the Avengers after A-Day. And, Tony apologizes, the Avengers apologize, and, she's funny. I like her humor. She kind of has, some spunk, some sassiness that has kind of been absent. And, Kamala's just kind of, naive like that, has that, young spirit, whereas Kate knows exactly what she's doing, and she has some witty banter to back it up. I was kind of making the connection that A-Day is essentially, what the events that happened in Endgame. It's kind of like the Avengers game version of the events that happened in A-Day, since everyone was kind of broken up, over the course of 5 years. So there is a little bit of disconnect, with the characters and kind of getting things sorted out and, making things feel okay. We learned that a scientist named Getz knows more about these tachyon disruptions, so we pursue him. We get to play as Kate. We kind of see her abilities. As I said, I do like her. She has a few different types of arrows that you can use. She has a single arrow, a scatter shot, and as well as an explosive shot. And I did like how Kate felt. I did like how her character felt to use, especially with the sword. I thought the sword was a nice touch. Once we get, we break out some scientists that gets us held prisoner, and of course, what is the boss gonna be? It's another tank fight. Surprise. After we take out Getz and his tank, which is, another long and drawn out process, we interrogate him, to which he gives up the information about things that Monica Rappaccini was doing rather quickly. It's why couldn't you have just given this up whenever we fought you, before we fought you? I don't know. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. So anyways, we're on the hunt to find Rappaccini and get AIM intel so that we can, find Clint is the main goal, and find out what's happening with all these disruptions. The Avengers end up making amends with Kate, Captain America and Tony, and they basically ask her to join the Avengers, to which Kate becomes a playable character. So my thoughts after playing about an hour of this, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It gave me kind of early vibes that the beginning of Reassemble, gave me. Not a whole lot going on, pretty story focused, There wasn't a ton of things to keep track of. It was just pretty straightforward and to the point, and I liked that. That is what I wanted in the main campaign. So, to be able to get that and get more, kind of like continuing to build off of the events of what happened and reassemble and, kind of taking into consideration the things that had happened to Kate, in that 5-year period. It's interesting. I do like it. I'm interested in what's happening in the story. I think it's really cool that, this is a free DLC that you can get, even though it seems like it's pretty short. You're going to have another character that you can use, over the course of whatever DLC, as far as we know, the course of forever, that character will be available forever, which is pretty cool. It wasn't perfect though. I played as Thor in the beginning of this DLC, and I noticed, it's the same stuff, like kind of clunky air controls, the same robotic enemies that just aren't that interesting or that fun to fight. I do like that thing that Thor does, like when he swings his hammer around, like you hold square and like he's like woo, woo. Like that's pretty cool. I like that. But yeah, I mean, I think that the beginning of this DLC has done its job. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not like amazing either. I'm enjoying it. I edited at this point in time, like I edited the rest, I edited the rest of part 5 of the Reassemble series. And I was excited to jump back into the game. And I think that's always a good sign whenever you have, issues with the game, but you're still happy to like jump back in and play. It kind of reminds me of like early Destiny days. Whenever that was kind of a thing, like you kind of kept asking yourself these questions of like, oh, imagine if they would do this, this, and this, or if they would change this and this, or this, and you kind of saw those things sort of unfold as the game went along. I think, it wouldn't take a lot for this game to really have kind of its Taken King phase, its Taken King expansion. Whereas right now I feel like we're very much like House of Wolves and, the Dark Below, like just very small updates while they work on something big. So that's kind of my take. Maybe, who knows, maybe the War for Wakanda or Battle for Wakanda, whatever it's called, will be that thing. I don't know. But overall, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the DLC, and I look forward to finishing it. You can look for that episode later. Well, I just want to say thank you so much if this is your first time again for tuning in. Thank you if you're a long-time watcher or listener, if you've been enjoying this series, thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Make sure you check out the description down below to see all the various things that I'm associated with and the things that I'm working on. I do a lot of stuff over here, and it would mean the world if you would go check that out, as well as hit the subscribe button if you're new here. So, what do you think of this DLC? How do you feel about this game in general? Make sure you leave your comments down below. I would love to know. I would love to interact with you and get your thoughts. So, until next time, thank you so much again. Check this out. Well, whatever possessed you to check out any of the content that you saw today, I just want to say thank you so much for doing so. If you check the description down below, you'll see that there's a variety of different projects that I'm associated with. This is Wannabe Critic Productions after all. So I just wanted to say, if you enjoyed what you saw today, consider giving some of those other projects a chance as well. There's a lot of stuff that I'm a part of that that I do. If you were here for me or for someone else that you saw today, again, just thank you for checking it out, and I hope to see you again. But until next time, I'm Gabriel Fast, and I'll always be the Wannabe Critic.